Okay, in this video we're going to find Pearson's correlation coefficient using Excel. As you can see, this is the formula for the correlation coefficient, and this is our data that we've got. We've got the different countries, the average annual income, and the amount of chocolate that they're consuming. You can see that I've put in an extra column where we're going to calculate this part of the formula, the x minus the mean over the standard deviation. Another column for this part of the formula, then a final column where we will multiply them both together to get the sum of them. Okay, so the first thing we actually need is the mean. So we come down here, we're going to do equals average, brackets, and then highlight the data that we want, close brackets and enter. Okay, I'm just going to drag this across here because that will also find the mean of my chocolates consumed. I don't need this one, get rid of that one. Now standard deviation, we go equals STDEV. Now the one that we want is actually the dot S because that is for the sample, and this is just a sample of data. Again, put our brackets in, choose our data set, close our brackets, and we have standard deviation there, and we're going to drag it across here so we get a standard deviation for the Y, and just remove that one. Now the formula says it is the score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So I'm coming up to my first cell here, I'm going to do equals, and I'm going to use brackets because I want to divide it all by the standard deviation. It's going to be equal to the score minus the mean. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press F4. You can see that that has now made this $B $26. That's going to lock that cell in so that when I drag my formula down, that is always going to minus the mean. This is going to lock that formula in. I'm going to close my brackets and divide by the standard deviation. Now again here I'm going to press F4, and that's going to put it as $B $27. Now make sure that I'm always dividing by that standard deviation. Now when I press enter, I get the first one. I can click back up, move the mouse and drag this one down, and I get that mean, the score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation for every value. Now I want to do the same thing over here but with the y's. So again, equals, I'm going to use brackets. It's going to be the score minus the mean. Again, pressing F4 to lock that in. All of that divided by the standard deviation. Again, pressing F4 to lock that one in so that it doesn't scroll when I drag my formula down. Pressing enter and dragging this one down. Now this is actually the sum of the x times the y. So I actually need to do that. So in this column here I'm going to do equals, and I'm going to multiply the x minus the mean over the standard deviation by the y minus the mean over the standard deviation. Press enter. Now I didn't need to lock anything there, I just want each value to multiply each other, so I'm going to drag that one down. Now it's actually the sum of, that's that epsilon symbol there, so I need to do a sum of that. So I'm going to equal sum, open up some brackets, highlight what I want it to add together, close the brackets. Now my R value, okay, now if we look at our formula, it is 1 on n minus 1 multiplied by the sum. Now this bit here, the sum of that is this value here. So we need to do 1 on n minus 1. N is the number of data. If you want to quickly see how you can find that in a spreadsheet, just click on the cell and drag it down. And then if you look up here, you've got 21 rows and 1 column highlighted. So that's telling me I have 21 data sets. So n is 21 in here. So it's going to be 1 divided by 20 multiplied by the sum. So we've got equals, and we'll just do 1 divided by 20. And we're multiplying that by the cell above. Now the other thing you need to be able to calculate is R squared, my correlation coefficient. So we're just going to do this one, this, and hat, little hat, that's above the 6, shift 6, and squared, and that gives you this value. And that's it. That's how you use Excel to find Pearson's correlation coefficient. Thanks for watching.